Welcome everyone, welcome back, and thank you so much for watching us today. I know that we have many sessions, many amazing speakers, and our third session today is with Karin Tydén. Welcome, Karin. Thank you so much for being today with me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Karin is a mind hacker, advisor, and mentor. She has the ability to understand and hack the mechanics behind people's subconscious patterns and create new and better strategies in life. Karin is a multi-award-winning coach, active in over 25 countries and one of Europe's sharpest in her field. She has helped thousands of people to maximize their potential and is often seen as the coach's coach. Her book, Mind Hacking for Rebels, just won Independent Press Award 2022. Today, she will walk us through Mind Hacking for Rebels, how to access your inner power and freedom. Thank you so much, Karin. I'm looking forward to learning from you.
Oh, thank you so much. So, hello, tribe. I'm very pleased to be here, and I hope that I can share some golden nuggets for you. My history is I had a tough journey through life. And through that journey, I understood that in order to change thoughts and change feelings and change behavior, you really have to access the subconscious mind. Because not a lot of people know that actually 95% of our day is run by the subconscious mind. And so it's kind of our habits running our life. And if that subconscious mind is filled with negative self-talk or doubts or traumas, fears and everything, that will run the show. So I'm thinking about a quote that I heard many years ago from the Greek philosopher Aristotle. He said that, give me a child before 7 and I will give you the man. So I refer to the first 7 years in a human person's life as the download period. So all these years, when we are very young, we are very, very, sensitive to impressions. We are very moldable. So we the first 7 years, we download the rules of the game. And we do that because we think that we need to survive. We need to get love. We need to feel safe. We need to belong. And all that we learn the rules how to survive. Maybe not today in our part of the world. Maybe it's not about physical survival anymore, but now it's more about mental and emotional survival. So we download all the rules, and then unfortunately, that creates a big library, or if you say a playbook or a manual. And we play by that manual our whole life. If we don't get aware of, okay, this is not working for me, maybe I should try something else. And this is also because our brain just loves to save energy. So think of if you every morning needed to think about how to put your trousers on, or how to hit the light switch, or how to drive to work, your day would be so long and your brain will explode. So what the brain does, it's kind of automate a lot of things to make it easier for you to make the day flow. So the subconscious library is also an energy saver, helping you to flow through life faster, better, and more easier. So my message today is that I meet a lot of people coming to me when I coach them saying that there's something wrong with me. I'm not a good person. I don't have discipline. You know, they bring up all sorts of problems. And my message to you is the same message that I give to them. And the message is that there is nothing wrong with you. It's the program that is running the show that is not very good. And that's a good thing, because this program we can actually shift, we can change it, and we can do something else about it. So I wanted to try out a little experiment with you guys. So what if you just thought about a behavior that you have today that you don't really like? Something that annoys you, or you feel like, oh, that is stopping me from doing what I want in life. So just think about that for a couple of seconds. And if you have several behaviors, just choose one. And now I want you to remember that you were not born with this behavior. So somewhere along the way, it started. And of course, the behavior can have a lot of different reasons why it's there. And we can't cover them all today. We don't have time. But maybe you will get some kind of insight about it. So I want you to just close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. And when you have done that, just continue to breathe as usual. Because one way of getting clarity about what our issue, our problem, our obstacle is to slow down our brain waves. And we can do that by closing our eyes, breathe a little bit more calm, so we get into some kind of stillness. And I want you to imagine yourself just taking the elevator from the head and just follow that elevator down in your body until you feel that you connect to something that you could call your center in your body. Because this will help you to shift your focus a little bit more inward, and it will help you to get more clarity and find your own GPS, and maybe find some clues on why you have this behavior, and sometimes even a solution. So I want you now to imagine yourself moving back in time. Just moving back in time further and further back. How you do it, it's up to you. Maybe you are walking a road. Maybe you just feel a floating sensation. And I want you to notice that somewhere there, when you're moving yourself back in time, you're noticing a younger version of yourself. And notice an age. How old are you there? You could be a grown-up, you could be a teenager, you can even be a little toddler. It doesn't matter. And I want you to notice that, did you have this behavior back then, the behavior you don't like today? If you notice, yeah, I have this behavior at that age, I want you to move even further back until you get a sense that, I think it started here when I was around 15 or maybe around 5. Just get a sense that you're moving even further back to when it started. And if you say, no, I don't have that behavior at that age, I'm actually quite different. Good, then you know that there is another you there. So I want you then to instead move forward until you get the sense that this behavior started. Just get a sense of yourself now. How old are you? How is your life? And start to get a little bit of a sense of what made you start the behavior that you have today that you don't like. What is the first thing that just, pops up in your mind? And even if it doesn't make sense, you don't understand it, just say, okay. Something popped up in my mind. And notice this behavior, when it started, was it a reaction to something happening in your life at that time? It could be anything, starting school, parents are arguing a lot, you're getting a baby sister, or the whole family move, or your dad drinks too much, whatever it is. Was someone treating you badly? And this became your kind of response to that? Or did you create this behavior at that point because that was the only solution you could do? Because maybe you were very young, there was nothing else you could do because you didn't have the resources then that you have today. Or did this behavior protected you in a way? And how did this behavior maybe helped you or protected you back then? So hopefully you have gotten some good information about the behavior, why it started, maybe the circumstances around it, the people around it. And I want you to know that there is nothing wrong with you, but things happened that made you and your younger version to maybe choose a behavior or pattern or something that helped you in a way. And I want you, the grown-up version today, I want you to meet this younger version of yourself. And today, you are wiser, you have more resources, more experience, you have more power, maybe power that you didn't have back then. What would you like to say to that younger version of yourself? And just noticing what pops up in your mind that you want to tell that version of you. And what could you as a grown-up do today to start shifting this behavior? Because the behavior is not working for you today. But by understanding that when it started at one point, there was a meaning. There was maybe a good solution then. So instead of being harsh on yourself, saying that, okay, I am a bad person, I'm a failure, I can't do it right. Understand that there is a younger version of you that maybe that was the only solution it had. So encourage that little version of you within yourself, saying that we're going to find a new and a better way, a better behavior. And you can even tell that younger version of yourself that even if you don't know how to change it immediately or what is the best solution today, that you are willing to find it, to do your research, to ask for help, and to own it and say, this is not working for me. There is nobody coming here to help me. So I'm going to actually own this problem. I'm going to do something about it, even though I don't really know how yet. I'm going to do the research because I'm a grown-up. I'm not as young or helpless as a little child anymore. And then when you feel that you are ready for now, you can just slowly open your eyes. And hopefully you have some clarity about what happened to you and what's created the behavior. And you can go from there with hopefully more empathy towards yourself, to feeling that, well, I can take back my power because now I'm a grown-up, and to get some clarity around, okay, this what's happened, but now I can leave it because that doesn't happen anymore. It's just an old, not updated program in your subconscious mind that we just kind of updated it, and you can think of it in a totally different way. So thank you so much for trying out this experiment with me. And Diana, over to you.
Thank you so much, Karin. I was not expecting to go into a meditation in the very first session.
I know, but I like doing this because actually when I do this with people, a lot of people get small insights along the way, and hopefully more of the sessions you are doing today on Facebook can give them more information and they can build it from there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It was very powerful. I didn't know at what moment in time to come back to you as the host,
Yeah.
because I was really deep into the meditation part. And for me, what came up, just to share very quickly, is the fact that I'm a perfectionist. And
Yeah.
I tried to go back in time to analyze it when it started. I ended up at 7 years old, but then I was coming back. It wasn't sure entirely, but definitely this is something that, and I love what you said, that we don't have to have all the answers right away, that
No.
we just need to have the intention in a way to know how to do it moving forward, and
Yeah.
to learn how to do it, actually to discover it. Would you say that if we take control of our mind and our thoughts, we can actually change the way we look at our past, at the events in our past? We can change the perspective maybe also to what is happening currently in our present life.
Yeah, so it's very important to know that our memories are not totally 100% true. They're just fragments and there are a lot of subjectivity within it. But if we can see our past in a different way, we can often have more compassion for ourselves. We can, when we get answers, it's satisfying to get, oh, now I understand why my mother did this or my father didn't do that, because we can start to understand it from a more grown-up perspective where our brains are kind of a little bit smarter and more experienced. And that can definitely change the outcome of how we see the world. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Karin. And you mentioned our parents, and one powerful exercise that I did at some point in time is to really acknowledge that they did the best they could, considering what they knew at that point in time.
Yeah.
And I know that we can look at this also for our friends, for our closest family members, not only for our parents. And I believe that this is extremely powerful to really have another look and see things from their perspective. And I would like to ask you if you think that this can be applied also in a working environment, whether any of these techniques could be applied in the corporate world in order to improve the team spirit, the empathy we have towards our colleagues, and to create a more friendly environment, so to speak.
Well, I work with CEOs today, and I don't work with groups, so I'm not an expert talking about that. But what I do is that by mentoring the CEO or the leaders, they start to understand both themselves and what they need to do to lead others, because they understand the human psyche and the subconscious mind better. And I try to help them to understand their co-workers and employees, and see that when there is someone who is maybe don't want to follow the rules, if we can see behind the curtain what happened to that person when they were younger, so they become a rebel and they don't want to play by the rules. So if the CEO or some other leader understands that, they can shift and how they, how they meet that person.
Yes.
How they are the solution to the problem, so they can be more productive and they can understand, and that creates a better workplace.
I see. Thank you so much, Karin. Would you say that there is a sort of split between subconscious and conscious mind? Is there any percentage that we should be aware of?
No, I don't know the percentage. I don't even know if it's measurable. I haven't heard about it, but I could be wrong. But the conscious mind, it's more the prefrontal cortex region, and it's more about, understanding consequences and drive and will and planning and this kind of things. But the subconscious part is often viewed as the older parts of the brain, whether you are more emotional and reactive and things like that. So, but I like when people using the analogy of an elephant and you're riding the elephant. Mm-hmm. So the conscious mind is like the rider and the subconscious mind is the elephant. So you know that you can absolutely control an elephant if you do it in the right way. You can make it go wherever you want it to go. But if the elephant gets scared or it doesn't want to go where you point at, it will go and you can't do anything because it's so strong. Mm. So it's kind of more understanding about how the elephant works to ride it properly and in an efficient way.
I love that. I love that metaphor, because I believe this really reflects the reality of what we are living. And sometimes we feel like we are controlled by our emotions, that we are not the ones controlling our emotions. I love that so much. Thank you so much, Karin. I learned a lot, and I even went into meditation with you today at the very beginning of our session. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
I would like to close our session today by asking you, who are you serving? Who can come to you if they need help?
Yes. Well, anyone that is open to change and want to go into subconscious mind and finding the real solution. So I work with all kinds of people, young, older, men, women, CEOs, truck drivers, everyone that is open to it. And they can find the information about me on my website, and they can also book a session there if they want to. And if you think that it's a little bit too much, they can always buy the book and start there, because they will get a lot of small mind hacks, how to start to reprogram the subconscious mind.
I love that. Thank you so much, Karin, for being today with me.
You're welcome.